Good afternoon. It's 3:15. Warm welcome to the IPCC open meeting. We have three new police representatives. Mr. Daniel Mui, DMS. The second new face is Ms. Sally Chui, ACP SQ. Sally is ACP. The third new face is Ms. Karen Zhang. Karen, Chief Superintendent. CNIIB, CSP. I'd also like to welcome the rest of the police team who are joining us today. We have received apologies from three members. There are three electrical members, Mr. Frankie Yik, Mr. Ronick Chen, and Mr. Nguyen Ga. They are otherwise engaged. And Mr. Chen and Mr. Yun Ka Heng, Dr. Yun Ka Heng, Desmond Chen, Desmond Yun, they are otherwise engaged. Item number 1, confirmation of the minutes of the meeting held on December 12, 2023. The Secretariat has not received any proposed amendments. Unless I hear any amendments, can I take the minutes as read? Thank you. Item 2, please, presentation on Scameter Plus. Let's hear from the police, please. Joe? Madam Chair, we have seen an increase in cyber crimes, and a lot of complaints generated from this. In 2023, we have introduced the Scameter app to tackle cyber crimes. We've also introduced the app last month, so we have invited Mr. Baron Chen, SSP, CSFT, to brief members on the latest regarding the Scameter. Please, Mr. Chen. Madam Chair, thank you. I'm Baron from the CSTCB. Joe already said a moment ago that it is the CSTCB to safeguard cybersecurity and also tackle cyber crimes. In 2023, 80% of the cyber crimes arose from online scams. These are crimes that occurred online, and there is no direct contact with the members of the public. From the screen, you get to see a poster. In 2023, well over 40% of them have to do with deception. In 2022, there is a deception every 20 seconds, every 20 minutes. Now it is every 30 minutes. The loss is actually $25 million. I'm glad to have this platform today, and I hope that you will remember 3 threes. 13 minutes, one deception. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be briefing you on the latest modus operandi in connection with cyber crimes. And also last month, we have introduced the Scameter Plus, and I hope that members and also the media will be publicizing this for people to download this particular app. All right, then, without further ado, in 2023, the Undersecretary for Security has already talked about this. We have seen a marked increase in deception in Hong Kong, and this is a really global phenomenon in the advanced jurisdictions, in particular the cyber crimes. In 2023, compared with the previous year, we have seen a 50% rise in cyber crimes. In terms of losses, the increase is as much as 70%. This is not unique in Hong Kong. I hasten to add, for places where technology is widely adopted, this is very much a problem. And we can anticipate that the fraudsters are also increasingly using technology to commit crime. So this trend is going to be with us for now, and we will be resorting to various means to curb this particular rise. In terms of cyber crimes, we have two categories here. In terms of crimes or types of crimes, online shopping remained the highest, 8,900, and online investment crimes and phishing. In terms of losses, as a category, online investment seems to be standing out, taking up 6% of the cases of deception. Now, for these online investment crimes, it would involve typically large sums. And over the past couple of years, we have seen a lot of Web3 development and blockchain and also cryptocurrency, and people are increasingly concerned about this, and people are exploiting people's concerns or people's attention to commit crimes. So, of the modus operandi, these would feature a great deal. In terms of online investment scams, the scammers would exploit people's unfamiliarity with the new investment tools, whether it be cryptocurrency or A-shares. People are not terribly familiar with these investment tools, and they will be concocting different stories. In 2023, compared with 2022, we've seen a rise of 1.7%, and the rise has gone up by 2.5-fold. And they're using more cryptocurrency, and they are taking advantage of people's ignorance of this area and also the platform, and try to talk people into investing in cryptocurrency. And there was a new trend that previously people might be swindled, and they would not tell them in no uncertain terms the investment returns. Now, if people would like to get the returns, they will try to delay matters. But in this day and age, they are really playing a long game. Now, there was a case in which a victim was swindled into parting with $6.8 million, and in a couple of days, he was told that he managed to make $300,000 in just a couple of days. The 2 days, a 40% return. So that victim was really buying into this. When he transferred the returns back into his account, now indeed there was real money going back into his account, and that make it look as if it is real. But if you're smart enough, this 300,000 actually comes out of the $6.8 million of his. So in the whole process of scam, the victim has stood to lose $9 million. It all started with the $300,000 returns. So the perpetrators are really playing a long game these days. The second new trend is they are using fake technology. At the beginning of this year, or starting from last year, on the social media platform, we have seen quite a lot of these deep fake technology to impersonate celebrities like the chief executive or CEOs or TV personalities, to sell people some investment scams, and they're not existent. They are touted as high return and low risk. Hong Kong people are really smart enough not to have fallen prey to these kind of scams. We haven't received any reports in this regard. When we receive these reports, or whenever we see this in our patrol, we will be notifying the platform for these to be taken down. And this has proved to be pretty effective. Also, when we reminded people of the scams, we would reminded people of the deepfake technology that would be used for one-on-one interaction. And these days, they are using this deepfake technology to replicate the situation of a meeting, and people would get the feeling that it's safer because there are so many people involved. In January, there was a multinational company in which the people in the video conferencing consists of people he's familiar with, and these people are actually the bosses of his headquarters in the UK. Now, this is a simulated clip during the online conversation. This victim saw all these familiar faces and familiar background. In fact, they were created by the deepfake technology. They are creating all these dialogues in this clip to make or to convince the victim that the video conferencing was real, and eventually he transferred a total of 200 million Hong Kong dollars into a local account belonging to the perpetrator. Now, this is a simulated clip. Now, this is myself, and we are using this pre-recorded clip, and we tie in with the deepfake technology to make people come away with the impression that they are talking to the real people. And that's why the perpetrator looked really convincing.
If an offer seems too good to be true, it probably is fake. Scammers prey on hope and haste, so slow down. Before you click on any links, share personal information, or send money, double-check and verify the source. Use Scameter to assess the risk of fraud and cybersecurity. I will pass to Tyler to talk about the second point.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Secondly, keep your personal information private. Your full name, address, phone number, and especially your financial details should be guarded like a treasure.
好啦，咁所以呢個係一個模擬啦。大家見到其實當大家
So there you are. This is on a simulation. Just imagine that this is happening on your mobile phone or on your tab. It might sound a little bit unnatural from the lip movement, but on the mobile phone or on the tab, the people would not probably focus their attention on these inconsistencies. Myself and my colleague seem to be having some conversation, but in fact, whatever happened was actually created by deepfake. While I was just replicating the dialogue on this particular clip, this is a new trend, and we're telling the members of the public that in these online conversations, if it involves money transfer, we have to exercise caution to verify all the identity before making the transfer. Third, there are malicious mobile apps that are causing losses. Starting from September last year, we've seen some overseas syndicates that are using malicious mobile apps for people to download, and so that they would be able to remote control your mobile phones. They would use different means, like they would be publicizing some quick cash means on the web, and there are some cheap goods to be available. And when they get in touch with these potential victims, they will continue with the contact on a particular app, and they'll be required to download certain mobile apps. When the unwary victim download the app, There are a lot of Trojan horses in the app in a way that they will be able to control remotely your mobile phones. So when you are making transactions with the mobile app, they will get access to your code, to your PIN, and transfer the money out of your account. Now, these are the modus operandi that are pretty common these days. So cybercrimes are actually changing every day. We cannot simply rely on the police to take enforcement action because they will not come close to tackling the cybercrimes in Hong Kong. So we keep saying that there should be the triangle.
會喺情報搜集啊、執法行動各樣嘢，我哋做好我哋工作。
Other than the police force, I think the two other stakeholders, like people in the industry, and also monetary institutions and also operators online. And then we are in very close contact and communication in terms of intelligence as well as in interventions. And telecommunication companies are also taking their part and then to prevent people from falling into this kind of scams. And I think that the public really needed to work harder. And then this is the golden triangle I'm emphasizing here. First of all, we would like to take everyone's attention to really to prevent themselves from falling into this kind of scams. And I've been doing a lot of things. First of all, we have tried to make the public more convenient to protect themselves. First of all, is the cyber defender. There are a lot of information tools to enhance their cyber intelligence and knowledge. And until the 2022 October, we launched the Scameter. And in everyday living, if ever you are in contact with email and online banking and account number, etc., then they can actually try to input those information in this Scameter and to investigate and then to see whether they have any connection with scams. And if that is any connection, then of course that they will be more aware. And since then, we receive a lot of comments and feedbacks. So in February 2023, we launched the mobile version of Scameter to further enhance the awareness of the public. And the utility rate is very high and successfully help the public to enhance awareness. And in terms of the Scameter, since November last year, there's a download of 300,000 downloads. And of course, that it might not be too many, but just imagine that Hong Kong is one of the highest utility rate of mobile in the world, with an average of 3 mobile per person. Then I think that there is still room for us to enhance the mechanism. And then I hope that the friends in the public could help us to further promote this app. Well, in November 2023, we have blend with FPS data bank, and then just imagine that there are a few millions of this kind of money transfer through this app. And then if this is combined and connected, then we will be really fully alert of any suspicious kind of money transfer. And in the future, we will continue to work with the monetary authority and also the banking industry, and to see whether that we can extend and this kind of mechanism to other facilities like the counter services and ATM. And Scameter, as I said before, it is a direct aid and tools to help the public. And last month, we have further enhanced it and upgraded it, and there are the 3 features in this upgraded version. First of all, as long as you download it and then being authorized, there will be an alert with the incoming call. As long as that is a suspicious income call, then you'll be alerted. And secondly, and before that, there are a lot of phishing links being sent to the public, and then people will cannot differentiate whether it's authentic or not. And if you carelessly click into it, then very easily that your information will be sent to the scammer. But with this app, and when the phishing link is sent to the site, the website, then this app will send an alert to the citizens concerned, and then so that they can protect themselves from being scammed and also have lost. So we call on the public to really work with us, and then using the third feature to report to us. And so these are the 3 features of the new Scameter. Just now, the 3 features that I mentioned are very easily operated, and you can easily enjoy the service. And then you can see that in this interface, and as long as there is a 9876 mobile, if actually it fits into our data bank, then they will receive an alert whether they can receive the call or not. And then if you click onto a link that is connected to a database, and then they will receive an alert, and then they can decide whether they will continue that process. And this is a very simple interface, and whether you are in SMS or in other social media, then you can easily connect it to our database, and then automatically detect the suspicious scams. If you would like to turn on these functions, it is really simple. Of course, the first thing you have to do is to download it, because we need to move the data to your mobile that needs to be of authorization, and so you need to turn on those controls, and then once it's turned on, then you will have access to our data and our alert. Well, whenever you receive the alert, it doesn't mean that it is safe or really a genuine kind of fraud, and because technology improve and advance speedily, but I can assure you that you can get the most accurate and most updated information through these apps. So I think the public should and need to download this Scameter. And through the Scameter, we hope that we can work with the public to prevent all these scams. And in the Iron Triangle, the public plays an important role. If the public can enhance their awareness and then to make the best use, including tools provided by the police, I think that the whole situation will be curbed. And then this app can direct and also accurately send the alerts to the public, compared to other sources of information, and then they might be too scattered, etc. And the Scameter is a more consolidated and more direct platform Today, we are making use of technologies against the technology utilized by the scammers. And we have built in new artificial intelligence technology so that we can effectively curb the scams and to improve our database. Wow, it's so useful. But if the public do not download it and do not use it, then all our investment, our effort will be in vain. Very often when we meet the victims, we always think that they will not fall into those traps until they become the victim. And people always say, is there any just particular categories of victims? I will say everyone is a potential victim of scams. I really hope that through the media, through the different sectors in the community, don't take for granted that you will be lucky enough to escape from this and to be immune from this. I really look forward that you use this good tool and to tell your friends and families to download it themselves. And lastly, I hope that my sharing will help you understand more about the latest and most updated the scam situation. And the 3 threes, every 30 minutes there will be 3 person that being cheated and fallen into those traps. And then we need the iron triangle to work together, the police, the stakeholders, and also the public. And the 3 features. And I hope that members and also the public can help to promote this. And lastly, please enjoy this promo and then to understand better the Scameter Plus and how you could help the public. You definitely need this, and you will, in fact, earn more when you work at home. Scammers actually have a lot of the different tricks, and then with the new scammers, and whenever you receive suspicious calls, it will alert you directly, and then we enhance that database, and then so that the whole city can be on guard of these scams. Thank you. I think that this is very useful. I think that the scammers today can work really low, the low cost, and work at home, and then even work outside of Hong Kong so that they can escape from the police surveillance. But wow, this is the cyber world, and well, in fact, that you don't really need to pay cash. You need actually to pay by mobile or by contactless payment. And in the countries in the West that they don't really have a physical bank, they ask you to go online to work on your money. And even for buying the air tickets, you cannot go physically to the company, and you are bound to do it with your mobile, and then asking you to upload your very private and personal information. So how are we going to do it if we don't do it? So every bit of our activities are more or less online, and then there are bound to be risks. And since that it is a very low cost and then high effective kind of business, so we need to be really alert. My question is that if the members of the public reported to the police, and will the police do the initial investigation before they upload the information to the Scameter, because sometimes we are just doing it out of the personal problem. Well, Baron, are you going to respond to it? Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Chair. The Scameter, I mean the database behind the Scameter, all comes from reliable sources. We have divided them into three grades: the red, orange, and blue. Those on the red level are all information received from reported cases. Once we confirm that is related to scam, then we will upload information including the bank account, web sites, and other information related to this level. And the orange and yellow information comes from banking sector, and then some information and technology company. And we will put all those information in the level of orange and yellow. And this is how the Scameter is operated. And then there is a new information about the report platform. Last year, when it was launched, we received feedbacks and volunteering to join in this operation.
People may not have sustained any losses, and therefore they probably wouldn't report anything to the police. But through this platform, we use AI, meaning that we would be liaising with the outside data banks, and also manually we would be conducting our analysis, and we would then put the information into different categories and issue the alerts. So all the information that we have on the Scameter is reliable and credible information. Obviously, we also have a hotline and email for people to inquire the information that they have doubts about, and we welcome contacts by the members of the public. So we are confident that the integrity of the information there is good enough. Right, if I may follow up on this. Now you have to use due diligence, you would check on the information. It would take a bit of time. Like if I am malicious, I put someone's information there, and you need time. There is a time lag there. Now, some members of the public might feel that as long as they check the Scameter, things will be all right. So people would put faith in the Scameter, but there is a bit of time lag there. Is there such a problem? Right. This has to do with the state of mind of the members of the public. We provide a lot of tools like the FPS alert, the Scameter alert. Overall, we'd like to heighten people's awareness of deception. The information, I mean, if they use the information on the Scameter, it doesn't mean that it's entirely safe. The whole idea is to heighten people's awareness of scams. Of course, we would deal with the complaints expeditiously, and we would also like to disseminate the information on the Scameter as soon as possible, but it would take a bit of time, like Chair said, because we need to make sure that the information that we put there would be accurate. So we hope that the members of the public would raise their awareness, like what they see, which is familiar. What they see, things that are familiar, may not be accurate. So people would have to cultivate a habit of checking on the information. Right, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Now, the fraudsters are always outfoxing us. Nothing is absolutely safe. We have to make sure that it is relatively safe. Now, your platform will provide the information expeditiously, but the fraudsters are always outsmarting us. We cannot assume that by using this platform it would be absolutely safe. And we also have to cooperate to appeal for people's collaboration. So you need to have massive publicity. And if there are any suspicions, people have to file a report, because otherwise the police would not be able to have access to so much information. We have to appeal to the members of the public to use the platform and also to make a report and also to be vigilant. And this is something that we have to come away with. Any further questions? Mr. Chan. Madam Chair, thank you. Thank you very much, Baron SSP, for the presentation on the Scameter Plus. And this is an app which is timely. Like the chair said, this is very timely. I echo what the chair said. I've got a question here. Now, Baron, you said a moment ago that certain things were taken down by the service provider. What threshold do you have, or would you consider requiring a suspicious app to be taken down? My second question is, you talked about the FPS, the matching of accounts there. Does it mean to say that if you spot any suspicious accounts, and if the members of the public are transferring funds through these suspicious FPS accounts, are you going to be alerting the public? Are you going to be stopping this? And you do need to have authorization before you can stop anything. Can you elaborate further on this point? My second point is a recommendation. In your data bank, it consists of a lot of useful data. There are cases of scams that have been proven. And behind these scams, there is a lot of fund transfers taking place in the financial sector. AML is an important gatekeeping feature. So if you have these kind of suspicious account information, would you also share the information with the financial sector so that banks that are hosting these accounts would be able to take action accordingly? Madam Chair, if I may address the question said and Baron my supplement. I was in the crime division headquarters previously. Now, in terms of taking down the apps, the threshold is relatively straightforward. If there is a crime, now through the CSTCB's verification, I'm talking about the hyperlinks or the websites. After the verification, we can make the request for the apps to be taken down. That we would receive a complaint, and upon verification, we can request that this be taken down. As to whether this will happen would depend very much on the platform. This is beyond our control. And as to the FPS, the operation is pretty straightforward. And if there are accounts that is implicated in a deception, we will have the information. We share this with the FPS, assuming that I am transferring money into an indexed FPS account, then FPS would be giving me the alert, not from the police. FPS would give you the alert. Now we are sharing the information with the FPS. Now for AML, anti-money laundering, other than the CSTCB, we also have the intelligence unit, whereby we would share the intelligence regarding these dodgy accounts, and that I'm sure will address the issues raised by the member. All right, any further questions? Daniel. Madam Chair, thank you. If I may follow up on the FPS scenario, I learned that a lot of people using FPS would be using their own mobile numbers as the index. Well, the fraudsters might be able to duplicate the mobile numbers. I'm not sure whether this is possible. If there is one single mobile number, then presumably it is linked to a particular account. This connection, this link is a given. If there is a phone number appearing in your Scameter, then I'm sure that this account must have been linked. So normally or typically, if there are situations like this, then the consumers will be sufficiently protected. If there is a complaint about a particular telephone number, or some complaints for that matter, presumably in a very short space of time, the police would have indexed this particular telephone number, and nobody, or there wouldn't be a lot of people who will be transferring funds into an FPS account linked to this number. Now, a telephone number would be linked with individuals, in most cases, instead of companies. So you can let the members of the public know within a very short space of time that once this mobile number appears on the Scameter, you would be alert, you would be vigilant enough not to transfer any money into this account. I mean, people are liable to be transferring hundreds of thousands of dollars into the account, or maybe $50,000, $10,000. I mean, even $10,000 would be a lot of money, and it would be really significant losses. So can you shorten the time lag? I know that you will not be freezing the account as soon as a complaint comes through, but if you have verified the number to be a dodgy number, then shouldn't you stop money being transferred into the account linked to that number, or shouldn't there be a holding arrangement for that kind of transfer? All right, thank you. Any reply? Right, let me supplement a little bit. The member referred to a mobile number and also an FPS account. So is it the case that a mobile number can be linked with a number of accounts? I let Baron supplement. Right, what I'm saying is that have you seen a situation where one single mobile number is used by a couple of people? That this is a genuine number, and the fraudster is also using the same number to swindle people. Have you seen cases like this? Right. If I may explain a little bit about the FPS. Now, FPS is a tool for transfer of money, and the mobile number is the indication that this this number can be linked with a number of bank accounts. Now, Dr. Chan mentioned that if there is a number that is suspected to be linked with a scam, then we can issue the alert. And also at the same time, Dr. Chen is concerned whether this account, this number associated with the account is suspected. What can we do? Now we will issue the alert regarding the FPS, and there is so much going on behind the scene, like our ADCC would keep an eye on the transfer, and also the intelligence unit will also keep an eye on the situation, and we can share the intelligence with the banks to make sure that these accounts can be stopped, and that would be the answer to the problem. So we are heightening the awareness. We're taking enforcement action, and everybody is putting in the efforts. Well, on Mr. Chan's point, now take one mobile number, for instance. Can it be used by a number of people at the same time? I don't think this is the case in Hong Kong, because we do have the real registration of the telephone number.
I'm not familiar with situation outside of Hong Kong, and then well, particularly when it is engaged with the extraterritorial transfer or transaction, then it might not be possible for us actually to take full control. Well, for one number to be used by the 3 person, of course, physically we can do that, but well, not to say about linking to the account, and can one account being the link to a number that is used by many people? Of course, it could be. I'd registered with a card, and then I use it as a mobile phone, and then I can also let you use as a WhatsApp, etc. That it can be done. Well, this is a registration in Hong Kong, right? Using your name, and of course, you can let your family or also even your secretary use that. But if you are using this number for WhatsApp, it doesn't actually have any connection with your mobile. But for a prepaid SIM, and then it can only be used for one mobile and one person. Well, under the current legislation, there is no prohibition for transfer of this SIM card. Well, I just want to clarify. Well, if I registered a telephone SIM, and then I can let other people to use it as a WhatsApp. Well, even though you can do that, but the responsibility still lies on you. Well, I think that what happened is that when the people report the scam with that particular number, then they would be furious if we cannot actually trace the swindler, and then. What happened is that some people will say that I lost my ID card, and then the people just make use of this lost card to buy a SIM card with this ID. And then, with one ID, you can have 10 SIM cards bearing the same name. So this is possible. And then this situation can be profited by the swindlers. And then, of course, that there are the complications. Well, say for example, if there's a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then if there is guy and who make use of this number to do other things. Well, in Hong Kong, of course, you cannot do that. But is it possible that in other places they can mask this number and then pretend that it is you? Yeah, it's possible. It is just like deep fake. There is the fake telephone number, and then it's been in the market for a long time, and there are situations where one number the one number can operated as fake and also as an authentic one. Well, there's a situation maybe the fake, in fact, that today of one number and then tomorrow another number. I just buy haphazard to try different numbers, and then maybe a number generated by the computer. Then again, the swindlers always outperform us in doing this kind of defense. And then we are not working on a blacklist, but just a warning list, right? Well, Mr. Chan, of course you cannot blacklist those numbers, but blacklisting, of course, can help some people who are already fallen victims. And then I think that all in all, we just need to be careful ourselves because the situation is so complicated. We appreciate that, we are chasing behind, and then we are chasing very closely, and then we really want to make use of this platform to call on you and then you to alert your friends and families that we really need to carefully defend ourselves. Definitely, nothing is absolute, including medication, etc. But what we can do is to try our best of efforts. And we need actually to have a better grasp of the different scenarios, what the police can do and what they cannot do. And then we cannot say that, there is no crime if we have police. And we can only do our best. Do our best to defend ourselves. Any further question? I just want to add a little bit simply. FPS will not have the scenario as were described by Mr. Chan. And they talk about the use of mobile. And when you receive a call and there is a number appear on the screen, it might not necessarily come from that number. Well, as I just explained, that you can easily fake. But for the authorization code that connected to the bank, then it's the unique number. So it cannot be faked. And I think that FPS fake will not happen. And for physical number who is linked to an account in the bank, and for sure there are cases like that. But for people to use FPS, whether they are using the number or the authentication code or the authentication email, in fact, only connect with the bank. There is no other channels. So there are two different scenarios, and that actually are connected to different scenarios. Yeah, that I fully understand. Yeah. Questions? Wilson. Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I would like to go back to the 200 million scam. this is into a huge loss. And we talk about different kinds of scam, but for the scams related to a big company as such, then will there be any platform that can help us to prevent that or to be more alert? There are a few suggestions, and the case in particular is related to deep fake. And we always alert the public that if this is a one-to-one kind of video call, then for you to identify whether this is authentic, I would suggest a few steps. First of all, ask the caller to actually move, like moving the head up and down, right and left. It's because with deepfake, and then that there will be something very unnatural appear on screen. And secondly, always, it's not what you see, but the content that counts. Well, in as a one-to-one kind of video call, and you are actually talking about money, then you really need to be very alert. And then maybe that you can use company used equipments to this particular caller. This applies to individuals as well as a company enterprise. And then I think that the essence is that the scams operates with a different kind of money transfer, and then the victim believe that there is a change in money transfer, then that's why that they've fallen into the trap. And then if in the past that you need to authenticate with an email, then you need to be alert that this time that is not necessary anymore. Then you maybe need to check with the company and to see whether that the money transfer or the way it was done has changed. So I think that before money transfer, try to verify it as much as possible. Any other further question? Thank you, the friends from the police. And then we have finished the second item, and then the third item is reports. One is the CAPO's monthly statistics, and B is a criminal and disciplinary the checklist of CAPO. So it's appendix 3 and 4. And Jill, thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this reportable complaints, and the whole year 2023, we received a total of 1,736 reports compared to 2024. There is an increase of 35%, and the main reason is because in 2023 we are in a full recovery, and then we enhance our law enforcement. So there are stop and search 1.1 million, and also the traffic ticket, and also the 1.5 report cases. Any? Sorry. In the first 2 months of 2024. We see that the reportable cases is 220 compared to the same period in 223. Is the decrease of 25. Is 95%, 19% decrease. The next slide, please. In the first 2 months of reportable cases, most of them are minor complaints. That is the ones in the red circle. And it's 93% of complaints. 62 are the neglect of duty. And then the yellow is the 65 cases misconduct, and the light blue is the 3, and this 1% offensive language. There are major complaints, and 9 is assault, and then the 1 of fabrication of evidence. And then we compared the first 2 months to that of last year. Negligence of duty, 137. There's a decrease of 8 cases. Misconduct, 65. And compared to 103, there's the decrease of 38. Assault is 9. And then, offensive language is 3, unnecessary use of authority is 5, and fabrication of evidence is 1. And approved cases by IPCC is like the green is 136, and then is 50% withdrawn by the complainant, and then about 31% is not pursuable. Is 84, and the gray part is 13% is informally resolved, and after the full investigation, 7 are categorized as unsubstantiated, and then substantiated is 3 as well. And then the rest are blue. There is no fault, 3, and then the orange is 2, and there is SOTR. So thank you. And then is any questions? Daniel? Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, CAPO. Thank you, Joe, for your report on the reportable complaints. I have some questions to go further into the scenario. We can see that for the first 2 months, there is a decrease. But in your statistics, so far I understand about the procedure, that will there be any revision in this aspect?
Now, for the new cases, in these reportable cases, we need to have the gender, the identity of the complainant, and also the contact numbers. If you don't have the information, you will categorize that as notifiable complaints and not reportable complaints. So it will still be NC instead of RC until such time as the complainant supplements all the information. And if the information is in order, then you would categorize that as reportable complaints, RC. Now, for these cases, do we spot any changes or any increase in the number of these reportable complaint cases? And in other words, in this regard, if we have more information, then it would give us a fuller picture. Thank you. I defer to Joe. Thank you, Daniel. In November last year, the judicial review has ended with a judgment. We have been monitoring the situation. There are some statistics. November 2023, according to the JR review, JR verdict, we have categorized the cases under ICCPO as either RC or NC. For the notifiable cases, all of them are of a minor nature. None of them is serious cases like assault. Now, for all these NC notifiable cases, the complainants, if the complainant failed to give the proper ID, we would follow up on these. We would ask for the full name, the ID, the contact number, and they were told that if they failed to make available the information, then their cases would be classified as notifiable complaints. Now, half of the complainants failed to give the full information, or they gave information, contact information from which we cannot make contact, and 40% of them we could contact them, but they still refused to make available the personal information. And under IPCC, we have to classify them as NC. There are 11 cases from November last year to now in which the complainant supplemented the relevant information. We have reclassified them as RCs. Daniel. So for these cases that have to be reclassified, you have dealt with them almost in their entirety. Right, Joe, please. Yes? Okay, good. Further report? Any report from you? Right, the next one is about the CAPO's criminal and disciplinary checklist. I've got nothing to add there. All right, any questions for the police regarding the checklist? If not, then AOB now. There are 2 clips from the police under AOB. I defer to the police. This is a very short clip. Madam Chair, members, in order to heighten the public awareness of CAPO, we have commissioned the TVB to put together a 3-edition program. Through this program, we let people know that we would be listening to public sentiments. And on the 18th of February, we have already broadcast this on TVB for 3 consecutive Sundays. And Cho Wing-lim, the Chief Inspector, will be briefing you on the 2-tier complaint system and investigation system, and also the IR system, informal resolution, as a means to resolve the complaints. We will play this to members. We've also posted this on YouTube, Facebook, and WeChat. Let's go to the clips. Mr. Chen, the show has gone out. We have received some inquiries, and then we have a chat. All right, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, action. Mr. Chen, it was said last time that the police would receive public feedback, and if they have complaints about the police, would you be investing your own kind? No, we have the IPCC, which is an independent organization appointed by the chief executive. It is composed of people from the community. They're not police officers, so we can monitor the investigation. Now, let me cite you an example here. When IPCC or when CAPO receives a complaint, the officer would be turning up at the scene to gather evidence. If it is of a serious nature, we will follow up even outside office hours. The IPCC observers will also be turning up at the scene to monitor the situation and to look at the clips. And we'll be taking statement. In the whole process, the observer would be monitoring the situation, make sure that everything is in order. We will also submit a report to the IPCC and also notify the complainant about the IPCC report. In 2023, of all the complaint cases, 70% of them were withdrawn or not pursuable. Are there any problems there? According to our experience, When people lodge the complaint, they do not follow up with any further information. We don't have any contact details, the identity, and so on. It would be hard to follow up. If the complainant rendered assistance, we will follow up with the complaint. Like criminal cases, if there is any fraud, any forgery, the complainant will have to be held responsible. How can people give the feedback? Well, there is telephone number, email, and by mail, and also the website. And it will be investigated fully. It can also be resolved by IR. For serious cases, we will conduct full investigation. For other complaints, which is suited to IR, it would be more efficient. Right, in the next show, we can go into further detail about it. Mr. Chen, in the last two shows, we have already covered the measures to improve the quality and also the way in which the investigations would be conducted. And in this show, we will be dealing with IR, informal resolution. Right, this way, please. According to police statistics, in 2023, well over 90% of the cases have to do with offensive language and behavior. People can seek resolution through informal resolution. People are worried that cases will not be dealt with seriously. No, the police would take cases seriously. CAPO would dispatch a chief inspector for communication. Informal means the way in which this is done. People can talk to us by phone. They don't have to turn up at the police station to give a statement. Now, this is to make sure that things can be dealt with expeditiously. The chief inspector of CAPO would, in the presence of the observer, ring up the complainant to inquire about the whole incident, and the chief inspector will also, in the presence of the observer, meet with the complainant to work out the details, and then there would be discussion. If we can improve or upgrade the efficiency, we'll also invite the relevant senior officers to guard against similar incidents from happening. There would be instructions. Last time in the crowd control, we have made some arrangement regarding road closure. We have to be empathetic. We have to be patient. We have to give clear direction to the members of the public so that the events can go ahead in a happy manner. Right, IR is intended to make sure that the complaints can be dealt with expeditiously and to minimize misunderstanding and to improve the quality and efficiency. Right, it seems that it is really good. I'm sure the public would be cooperating with the police and resort to IR. Cut, good take. All right, it's done. Thank you very much, Mr. Chen. We're pleased to work with the police. Thank you. Comments or questions? Mr. Chen, PCC subcommittee chair, and he's saying that these clips are really relevant to the IPCC work, and it is a really wonderful production. SG, Madam Chair, I go along with what PCC chair said. Over the years, I think that this is something that has been very professionally done. Now, CAPO and the IPCC do have the duty to operate the complaint system. I'm wondering whether the PCC can consider having a link on the website to link up with these clips. When people see this particular link, for them to see how complaints are dealt with by CAPO, I'm sure that would deepen the understanding of how things work. Mr. Chen, Madam Chair, if I may add, this is 360 degrees. Other than the stories, the police are being monitored by the IPCC. And you should also say a little bit about the perception of the IPCC then to the general public, they would get a better understanding about the interaction between the IPCC and CAPO, and that would give people a more comprehensive understanding of the whole thing. Now, of course, the IPCC is acting independently and impartially, but we are talking about two-tier system. This is the point made by Mr. Chen. Like SG said, we will proactively try to find out how we can do it better. Hong Kong is an efficient society, and we will try to do everything we can to boost the efficiency and quality of service as best we can. Date of next meeting, June 18th. I forgot to mention this.
我哋今日休會。
Meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all very much. Well, how do you see the statistics? And where speaker's not coming through, speaker not coming through.
So I would to answer the last question first, whether there is Article 23 or any other legislation that police force will be responsible for enforcing it. And the IPCC, like the police force, will treat every complaint fairly, impartially, and independently based on evidence. And as when you mentioned about the complaints, there are ups and downs, and that is normal. It's seasonal or because of particular reason, like the pandemic. Well, when you stay at home, there will be less traffic accidents, etc. Now we have recovered. Then of course the cases will be on the increase. We cannot actually comment on every one of these cases, but one that you mentioned, the Secretary General will answer that. Well, in general, we will not comment on particular cases. Until today, we do not have information about this case. Normally, the CAPO will investigate the complaint first, so there will be a delay, and then so at the moment, we do not have any information about the case on hand. Okay. So back to Article 23. Sorry, the voice just cannot get through. The interpreter could not hear the question well. So there are two levels of complaint. Two-tier system mechanism for all cases handled by CAPO, and then the IPCC will handle that afterwards, and then after they finished. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you next time. Thank you.